I welcome you to this channel. Without any water, we start the topic of the ECB rate. Against the backdrop of the aftermath of the largest banking collapse in the United States since the global financial crisis of 2008, investors will focus on US inflation data this week, which will be a key test for a market already under pressure from concerns about the Federal Reserve's campaign to tame inflation. The European Central Bank is also expected to raise rates again. The UK will announce its budget, and China will release a whole raft of economic data. Here's what you need to know at the beginning of the week. Risk of contagion. Following the dramatic collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, Nasdaq, SIVB, on Friday, investors are increasingly nervous about the Federal Reserve's campaign to fight inflation in the financial system, which has exposed vulnerabilities that could be amplified if the Fed raises rates. SVB, which specializes in technology startups, witnessed the value of the bonds in which it held its money fall due to the increase in interest rates. The plan to increase the value of the bonds had the opposite effect, triggering mass customer withdrawals from the bank, after which regulators intervened on Friday, shutting down the bank and placing it under management. The swift collapse of the bank has caused nervousness in global markets and sent bank stocks tumbling amid concerns about the spread of contagion in the financial sector and beyond. Fears emanating from the financial sector are bleeding into the broader market, said Michael James, Managing Director of Equity Trading at Wedbush Securities. When you combine the Silvergate, New York Stock Exchange, SI, crash with the Silicon Valley Bank crash, it creates a ripple effect of concern for the overall stability of the market. US inflation data. While Friday's US employment report eased some concerns about the prospect of a 50 basis point rate hike at the upcoming Federal Reserve meeting, higher than expected inflation figures on Tuesday could once again raise concerns for investors who are already walking a tightrope after the SVB crash. Economists expect February's monthly inflation to rise by 0.4% after increasing by 0.5% in the previous month, which in annual terms will make it 6.0%. Last week, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said the U.S. Central Bank is likely to raise rates more than previously expected if upcoming data shows the economy remains hot after almost a year of tightening, but added that the decision for the upcoming March meeting has not yet been made. Other economic data to watch for this week includes February's U.S. retail sales data, producer price inflation, housing starts, and industrial production. ECB rate hike. The ECB is expected to raise its interest rate by another 50 basis points at its meeting on Thursday, after already raising the rate by 3 percentage points since July in an attempt to curb inflation. Data showing that core inflation in the Eurozone increased last month has heightened concerns that price pressures are persisting. The market is anticipating another 50 basis point rate hike at the ECB meeting on the 4th of May, and the minutes from the ECB's February meeting did little to change those expectations. Core inflation and other measures of inflation are likely to remain elevated, and there are as yet only limited signs of stabilization, the minutes said. Further rate hikes are therefore necessary for the Governing Council to move towards its risk containment objective. ECB President Christine Lagarde is likely to be pressed on how high rates will ultimately go at the press conference following the ECB meeting on Thursday. With this news, we end the video. Like, and we are waiting for you in the comments to discuss this and all other news.